Hi, and welcome to the Word of the Week. This week's word is leadership. Now, concluding our series for the month of May of defining our mission, leadership is one of the it's one of the cornerstones of what we're trying to accomplish here at the Martial Arts and Wellness Center, what I'm trying to accomplish with my life, which is to provide leadership. And with leadership, we got to kind of think about this for a second because leadership basically means the capacity to lead. Now, we can think about leadership in terms of a position, right? You are in a leadership position, you are a position of authority. But I look at the capacity to lead, the ability to lead. And that's one of the things that I'm really trying to accomplish through the various things that I do in my life and the things we do here at the center, which is one, to provide leadership. So we want to be able to be in that position to show people what is possible, to lead them, to help them to find the right actions that they could and should take in order to get their lives to where they need to be, whether it's their martial arts life or their personal life. To help people to understand that there are processes that we all go through and that we all need to go through in order to attain what we wish to attain. So our ability to lead people on that path is really, really important. And the only reason we can lead people on that path is because we've gone through that path ourselves. Now, the thing is that just because it worked for me doesn't mean that it's necessarily going to work for everybody else, right? So these are things that I've experienced. These are things that my staff have experienced, and by taking all of our cumulative experiences and our cumulative knowledge, we can address people from a variety of angles. And that's an important thing about leadership, is understanding that not everybody can be led by the same methods. So we have to understand how to speak to people. Leadership is like teaching. Everybody has their own style that works best for them in terms of their ability to learn, their ability to be led. So having some flexibility is very, very important. One of the other things, and this is probably the most important thing that I view in terms of leadership as part of my mission, is not just to be the leader, but to teach people how to become better leaders. I want to be the kind of person that leads leaders, that teaches teachers, to help people to spread the value of these skills to as many people as possible. And because personally I can only do so much, but if I can teach 10 people how to do the same things that I can do, and they can teach 10 people, and they can teach 10 people, and so on and so on, it's like that old commercial, right? So pretty soon everybody understands the importance and has developed some skills. Now, there's some really great books on leadership. One of my favorite authors on leadership is John Maxwell. He's got some really great books on leadership, and we use some of them in our leadership classes as well. And one of the things he talks about that I really like is the difference between positional leadership, right? That's the leadership that you get because you're in a position. People have to listen to you. And then the other stages, he has 5 stages. The final one being what I just talked about is teaching people how to teach people to be leaders. And all along that spectrum, there are different positions, and basically it falls down to this. People either follow you because they have to follow you, that's positional, or because they want to follow you. And have to follow you works to a certain degree with a certain group of people for a certain percentage of the time. People following you because they want to follow you, hard to mess that one up, right? So when you're trying to be a leader, leading through example, leading through inspiring people as opposed to demanding people, that's the key right there. That's going to be the mark. Now, do you have to use the positional leadership sometimes? Absolutely. Sometimes you got to just put your foot down and say, I'm the boss, I'm in charge, I'm the mommy, I'm the daddy, whatever you have to say. My word goes. Sometimes you got to do that. But that is limited in its scope. When it's necessary, you need to use it. When it's not necessary, leadership, like discipline, needs to be something that comes from an inspiration, through a desire to do that thing for that person, as opposed to doing something for someone out of fear of the repercussions. Right? So these are just two of the parallels of leadership that if you ignore one, it doesn't always work. And my fault is probably that I tend not to put my foot down as much as I should. Right? So I tend to let people kind of, do it out of inspiration, out of their own motivation. It works a lot of times. Sometimes it doesn't. Right? Other people I know, they have to have rule with an iron glove. It works sometimes. A lot of the times it doesn't. So it's all about striving to find the balance, and that's going to be something that we're going to talk a lot about over the coming weeks, is finding the balance. So I hope that you enjoyed this week's lesson. I hope that this gives you a little insight into what's going on in my mind, my heart, and here at the center. And I hope that this inspires you. As I said before, this is how I tend to do leadership. Hope this inspires you to think about how you can apply this in your life, because we're all leaders. You're leading someone right now, if not only yourself, right? And who's in charge? Is your heart in charge, or is your head in charge? Who's in charge of making decisions, leading you on the path that you're on in your life today? All right, so I hope you enjoyed this week's lessons, and I hope to see you again next week.